Good Monday evening, everyone. Hello, welcome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for being here, everybody. There we go. Circle applause. Get the aerobics in. You know, I've been doing the workout thing again. You know, and I feel already it's crazy. Like I'm only like what I've done 3 out of the last 4 or 5 days. I've lifted for at least an hour, and you know, done a little bit of the cardio stuff, and I feel good. It's I tell you the biggest adjustment to get, because I'm trying to put a little bit of size back on, is the eating, because I had to get up and eat breakfast. I had like 2 cups of oatmeal, mixed a banana in with it, cut it up, mixed that in with that, worked out, and instead of doing a protein shake, I made like 4 or 5 eggs, the whites, you know, a couple yolks, mostly whites, and cooked a couple like sausages up, cut those up, threw them in there, ate that. Ate a couple like beef enchiladas, and then what the hell did I forget? I had like a beef and like pasta casserole for dinner, and after this I'll go up and have some chicken or something. So it's like that's eating like 5, 6. You know, I have to work my way back up to like 8 times a day. Is yeah, that's a chore. That's because most of the time you're making yourself eat when you're not fucking hungry, just for the sake of the calories. So
wow, talk about white people problems, right?
These third world countries, motherfuckers can't eat once. I'm like, I eat 8 times a day voluntarily. Mackie Sky, what's up? Haven't been here in a while. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. We got Tolbat, Manliness, Horny Alf. Yeah. Who else? Keely's here. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. Hicks Villain, channel member Hicks Villain, welcome. Tony's here. Pop Cyclops, Draven and CJ. Tommy, Vinny, and Chris have the night off this evening, and they'll be back next week as we work around the pitching rotation here. Gentlemen, it was a mediocre, shall we say, weekend at the box office for one large juggernaut, which, remember, you know, you guys, you know, I know 2019 seems like it was
ago,
like a lifetime ago. But, you know, remember when Captain Marvel came out?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yup.
Remember being called incels, neckbeards, man babies, you know, alt-right, trolls, bots, you know, in the lead up to Captain Marvel, which, you know, chicanery and shenanigans at the box office with that notwithstanding, that movie crossed the vaunted $1 billion mark, okay? But it was sandwiched between the 2 biggest movies in MCU history in Infinity War and Endgame, okay? So, and I know people will say, well, so was it Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, that was at least entertaining.
Yeah. And that one didn't get nearly the press and the attention.
And it moved the plot.
That one did, but it didn't get any of the attention that Captain Marvel got from the media. They didn't turn that into a darling. They weren't dying on that hill like they did with Captain Marvel. So to see what happened this weekend to the 5 times delayed or 5 or 6 time delayed, downgraded sequel that turned into a team up movie because they had to protect Brie Larson. They had to protect her at all costs. She must be protected.
They've all seen her feet, Etep.
This was fantastic to see what happened, but you guys know what.
You know, I'd rather see her feet than see her ass that she showed at that award show. What, a year before Captain Marvel came out? I was looking forward to Brie. And all this is 100% her fault.
It is. So for the main event intro tonight, folks, we don't get to see Brie because we're going to talk about Brie. But what we do get to see are some headlines. So accompanied by some how do you pronounce that? The composer, Tony, is it Grieg?
What's up?
The classical arrangement. Is it
I
Grieg?
don't know.
Okay. Well,
in the Mountain King.
Yeah. Well, regardless, here we go, folks. Greek. Yeah, here we go. Here's some headlines, and this is where we at. This is where we at, folks. Has no ass. Ricky Larson has no ass.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Will you play Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Nope.
Nope. Apparently not.
Hell no.
That's a no for me, dog.
What?
Yeah. Where's
What?
Tim? Where's Tim Pool?
Well.
That's a 0 for me, dog.
No.
So the Marvels, folks, has just shit the bed, and let me do this. Let's go over here. We'll pull this up right here. This is from Forbes, and before we get into it, Tony, I know you had some thoughts on this, or this is Slate.
Well, I can get into my thoughts. Like, we can go through this first. I just want to say $300 million budget.
Yeah.
Double that for marketing.
Yep.
And what, 47 domestic? And then that's splitting with the middleman, and whew, this is a bloodbath.
Oh yeah, that's not counting what that they have to pay out to theaters too.
Five Nights at Freddy did better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
40, yeah.
What, Tom?
No, that 47 million. You know, the middleman, the theaters, they're having to split that. So I mean, this was an absolute fucking bloodbath. On top of, I'll get into it after we read this.
All right. So we'll jump into this a little bit. This is from Slate. It's from today, 3:27 p.m. Marvel just had its worst box office weekend ever. What happened? The most dominant franchise in the history of movies has taken its first major spill. No. This wasn't a spill. Marvel got handed a big fucking fat L, and they need to wear that bitch. And this young lady right here is at the center of this. Don't look like you don't know it's you, bish. Don't look like you don't know it's you, bitch. This is you. This is a microcosm.
Robert Downey Jr., right?
Yeah, she was gonna be the fucking hero, right?
She's gonna replace RDJ and Chris Evans.
Yep, she was that popular coming in, even though nobody fucking cared about this character. If they would have used, and I've said this a million times, if they would have used the Miss Marvel before they switched her into this shrieking feminist, it would have been far, far better received. They should have cast a different actress.
Well, isn't the chick that was like saying about how this new outfit is better than that now, saying that she likes the Miss Marvel outfit more now? What was her name?
Oh, Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yeah,
it's either her or Gail Simone, one of those.
The if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book, bitch.
Yeah, that bitch, I think. Yeah,
and then
she's
she started
like
crying.
championing the old outfit now.
Yeah, because she knows nobody wants to buy this bullshit. Nobody bought her bullshit. Oh, God. The most dominant franchise in movie history just had its worst weekend ever. The Marvels, the 33rd entry into the MCU, opened to an estimated $47 million at the domestic. A catastrophically bad showing for a series that had already been showing signs of strain. That's less than half of what Ant-Man Comedy-Mania and Guardians 3 opened up earlier this year with, and a staggering fall off for a sequel to 2019's Cat Pan Mediocre, which earned over $1 billion worldwide. It puts the Marvels dead last in the 15-year history of the MCU, out-flopping even 2008's Incredible Hulk. And you know what's even worse is this paced lower than the Eternals.
But the Eternals saved lives.
The Eternals did save lives. I mean, that's the thing with the Eternals was we can't undersell the life-saving value of how many kids that kept from. Never mind, but you know,
catastrophic opening. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go on here. 1 month ago, tracking predicted. Oh, speaking of tracking, so they're not here this week, but Vinny, Chris, and Trina weighed in last week. My bet was, what did I say? I said 68 million. I said I'd go on the high side. I said 68 million. Trina said 50. Chris said between 60 and 70. And Vinny was our winner. He said between 45 and 50. And this hit 47 million. So Vinny was our winner. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one actually, they've got it listed at 46,110,859 domestic, 62 international, 109 worldwide. But that domestic number is the lowest in the history of the MCU. Yeah, they of course we've got the whole, they're blaming. This is the thing. They're blaming trolls for this, right? So how can you blame trolls when trolls were never going to go see your movie anyway? Like, how does that? The only people that went to see this are like the hardest of the hardcore fans, and then the casuals. That's and it from the numbers, not even a lot of the casuals showed up. So it's like, who was this for?
Well, they alienated everybody. Yeah, I mean,
nobody.
It was for the loud. It
Sorry.
was for the loud vocal minority
who didn't go pay to see it.
No. This is a perfect example of listening to the Twitter audience and not the paying customers. Like that's, I mean, but they delayed this movie like 5 times, and they did reshoots and blah blah. Who fucking Kamala Khan is not objectively not an interesting character. Like there's nothing. She's like Plastic Man I mean, it's
she's more like Reed Richards with the stretchy powers and shit.
Yeah,
but less interesting. And she's you know how Spider-Man's like a fanboy like of Tony Stark and stuff like in the comics, but he's like not like over the top fanboying. He just respects.
She's like that with Captain Marvel.
She is super over the fucking top, like fan, like to the point where it's like stalker-ish, like fucking cringy as fuck, like fanboy, like one of those fucking nasty ass people you see at like a convention that is like, oh my god, and they freak the fuck out, like that kind of fanboy. For Captain Marvel, which doesn't translate very well to a comic book character, in my opinion. And that's why she's not interesting at all. At least Monica Rambeau in the comics was interesting. And then they fucked that up in Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, she was the leader of the Avengers, and nobody fucking disliked her. She was good back then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing, dude. Look at
they made her like
comics.
worship Carol Danvers in their movie, which would have never happened. Like, and then they course corrected in WandaVision to make her hate Monica Rambeau and kind of give like a bait and switch kind of bullshit.
But we all already seen all that. That's the thing, and that stuff didn't do very well. Like Phase 4 to me are they still in Phase 4? Is that what this still is?
I think this is 5.
Yeah, this is 5 now.
Okay, I was just asking. I didn't even know. I forgot about the Guardians 3, to be honest with you, because I didn't care. I didn't go see it. I forgot
I saw that one. Yeah, I did see that one. That was okay. Honestly, like that one wasn't bad. It really wasn't. It wasn't the greatest. I mean, it was better than the second one, I think. The first one's awesome. I didn't hate 2, but I think this one's slightly better than that. The second one, but
I don't know. The fact that they race swap the main villain, that right there makes it lose points, whether it's good or not.
I know. But no, this whole, and I want to go over. I got a couple. It's trending on Twitter right now. The MCU is trending on Twitter.
I hate that phrase.
I know. It's
so accurate, though.
It is that. It is. But I wanted to find the Stephen King tweet from earlier.
I can find it because I replied.
I did too.
If they called it the FemCU was like a spin on feminists, I think I might like. But just the MCU, I'm like, it hits wrong. It just hits wrong. It's like, because look, there's some badass females out there, but it's like just like men. They're not the ones going around talking about how badass they are. They just shut the fuck up and do what needs to be done. They hold down the home, they hold down the family, they do whatever they need to do, and those females are badass, you know? The ones that aren't on some weird fucking power fantasy, like the ones we see in Hollywood.
The current characters, they just need this constant validation that they're so good. Yes. And that's where they fail.
Yeah.
And because if you're a great character, you don't need everyone else to fucking validate you.
Yeah. They need to go back and watch Field of Dreams and maybe understand the whole point of if you build it, they will come and stuff we want to see, man. It's that simple.
Yeah, there's the Stephen King tweet from earlier, which is so fun. Some of the rejection of the Marvels, maybe adolescent fanboy hate. You know, yuck, girls.
It's funny looking through the replies to all the people that actually went, that are apparently fighting some fucking culture war and hated on it, but they all fucking went and seen it. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not informed by going and seeing it when all the fucking evidence leading up to the movie said it was going to be bad. Like,
I had somebody because I mentioned something about like how it failed financially, and somebody was like, "Oh, did you go see it, or are you just a hater?" I'm like, "No." I says I covered the MCU for years, and I said I stopped going. I said the last thing I saw was Guardians 3 because my son wanted to go see it, so I took him to see it. But I'm like, I'm not going to see this. Well, you can't talk. Well, what?
No,
Well,
I can't
why would I?
because I recognize patterns.
Yep. Exactly.
That's the point.
What's a pattern? Everybody in the comment thread.
Yeah.
I'm just
then
like,
you gotta.
Okay, I don't have to piss on the electric fence on Wednesday to know it's going to shock my dick if I pissed on it the past 2 weeks before.
That and Ren and Stimpy taught us don't whiz on the electric fence. Come on.
Yes.
I put my reply too in the private chat.
Oh, wait. I didn't pass yours yet. I'll highlight it.
Yeah.
I like this one right here though. 65% male audience went to see the Marvels this weekend. Where was the female Barbie movie audience? Right? Like this movie's supposed to be made for fucking women. And
the Marvels WNBA.
Yeah.
This is their fuck up. If they wanted to push the MCU in this direction and girl boss and blah, 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 and even I see this, and I'm not getting paid the buku bucks, why didn't they cast Taylor Swift as Captain Marvel? Now, I'm serious. If they're going to go this route anyway, give Taylor Swift a shit ton of money, say, hey, come in and do some CGI scenes. She's got a built-in fan base who would have supported all of these Captain Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they cast it? I'm just thinking as a businessman here, and how do I capitalize? Which, well, I wouldn't be targeting the audience they are anyway, but if you're going to, cast fucking Taylor Swift. Are you stupid?
Yeah, she has a built-in fan base that, like, even conservatives go fucking watch her shit, and she fucking hates on conservatives.
Which is funny because she's a quote-unquote country artist.
Yeah.
Well, she's one of those Southern Dixie country artists.
Yep. Hey, real quick to take a time out from this, our poll in the chat right now, what show should we watch on Classic Pay-Per-View Tuesday tomorrow? We've got Unforgiven 03, Survivor Series 87, Survivor Series 91, and Survivor Series 97, which is leading 46-31 over Unforgiven 03, 15% for Survivor Series 87, and 8% for Survivor Series 91. That will be open all night for you guys to vote. Hello to people watching on Rumble. What up, Gap After Dark? See you over there. You guys be sure to follow us on Rumble. So yeah, back to this right here. I'm sorry, Tony. Did you have anything else to add to that?
Are we done with the article?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to get to I want to get to CJ's tweet real quick, and then I want because I know you've got something because I want to get to this. I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. But there's Lorena Creole who is fighting a culture war and pays Disney for
and went and seen it and pays for the season pass and fucking buying all
she's
their
fighting
shit.
The fucking culture war.
There I am.
There's CJ's.
Well, from a guy who wrote about a 12-year-old gangbang, a circle jerk is lame. And that's the circle of entertainment. Find a beloved IP, pay a ticket, make a game, make a name. Product flops, fame the fans. And repeat ad nauseum. Ad infinitum.
He's not wrong. We got to give it. Nobody give a Dago like.
It's fucking great. I love it.
This is. We're gonna get a lot of mileage out of the Cartman Kathleen Kennedy. I love it.
Yeah, we are.
I love it. But that's Stephen.
No idea
King.
what they've unleashed with that.
No. But that's this jack wagon right here. All right. Tony, the floor is yours, sir.
We all know Bob Iger. has political aspirations, which is probably why he had no problem listening to certain 3-letter agencies and veering Disney in this direction. You know, he wants to be president one day, and he's smart enough to know that, you know, well, look at what happened to Donald Trump recently. And what Chuck Schumer once said, you know, if you cross the intelligence agencies, they have 5 ways from Sunday from getting back at you, you know, like, he's playing the game here. And he thought he would, you know, run Operation Human Shield during the pandemic and shove Chapek in front of him to take a bunch of bullets. Because he needs to look like a success. He needs to have a legacy when he runs for president. And he's getting old. He's getting old. Is it going to happen now? I don't know. But considering we have a 93-year-old in the fucking office right now, at least in cellular age. Yeah. So he held Bob Chapek up, let Chapek take a bunch of heat, enough to where when they gave Chapek the boot and Iger jumped back in, a bunch of so-called culture justice warriors and conservatives fighting the agenda. They're like, woo, get Chapek out of there. Yeah, Iger. That's what you get for going woke, Chapek. Like, okay, you're a moron. Like, all of this started under Iger to anyone with half an eye on.
Really, to me, it all started under Eisner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
Iger just exacerbated the issue. But it's all started under Eisner.
Eisner definitely had, you know, his issues. But
with let's make a sequel of everything. That doesn't need a fucking sequel.
Just, I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is one reason I'm happy, because we are taking the culture back. Let's be real about this. What happened this weekend? The Marvels debuted, and what was social media filled with on what, Saturday? The fucking badass combination of Trump Jr., Dan Bongino, Tucker Carlson, Dana White, Kid Rock, in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Trump's mugshot compared to the Hollywood strike. Nobody's talking about it. So we are taking the culture back. It's happening. We're winning that war. We're gaining more and more ground every day. Bob Iger took a calculated risk in taking Chapek out, thinking he would come in now and swoop up the dice. The pandemic's over. The election's over. It's safe. And what out of this entire year, what was Guardians 3 one of the only profitable movies, and the person responsible for that, the head of their rival now? He's heading their rival cinematic universe. So that doesn't look good. Pixar went to shit.
Isn't doing too well either.
They were calling. I remember going to see Sound of Freedom in the theater, and they're like, okay, so is it Cinemark, one of these theaters, or whichever one I went to, they like to have a little 55-inch picture on the big movie screen. And they'll be like, it'll show the Little Mermaid live action. It'll be like, why would you want to watch the motion picture event of the Thumber on a 55-inch screen? And then it blows up to the entire theater screen when you could watch it in Cinemark XD, you know? They were calling Little Mermaid the motion picture event of the summer. I don't think that worked out. Did Barbie come out in the summer? I'd say that was probably it. Oppenheimer made close to $1 billion. Mario Brothers made over $1 billion. The only movies to even come close to really $1 billion weren't Disney movies, with the exception of maybe Guardians, which again, the person responsible for that is long gone. Bob Iger took a calculated risk in taking Chapek out, thinking he was going to come back in and swoop up the dice not realizing how frustrated the casual fan was, as well as, the smarter fan. And I think that's funny because his legacy has gone down the toilet. Meanwhile, Kathleen Kennedy, who he probably has wanted to fire for a while, to be honest, was untouchable because of this agenda. She's now a joke. Thank you to South Park. So it's a moment of celebration because things get black-pilled on here a lot of times, but this is a good thing. Like, Iger's coming out of it. He's never going to recover from this. This is his legacy now. He's worked on this his entire life. And he'll be known as a failure, as someone who brought Disney in a really dark place, turned them in a bad direction. And I'm happy about that. I'm cheering, and thanks to people like Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective who have been at the forefront of this, setting the example. It doesn't matter how big of a Spider-Man fan he is or how big of a Star Wars fan he is. He saw this shit and was like, no. And many others followed. And because of that, here we are. An absolute fucking bloodbath in Captain Marvel. The one who made $1 billion in her first movie. Yeah, because of strategic positioning, like we said. I mean, it's been failure after failure this year, capped off by this. That's a gift to us all. So, I mean, there's hope out there. We're winning, we're gaining ground, and yeah, if all hope was someone, I won't mention who, but someone once said the mission was to make us feel hopeless. Well, you'll never make me feel hopeless.
Yep.
If it was hopeless, they wouldn't have to propagandize because it wouldn't matter. They'd have it all they'd have it all. They wouldn't need you. They'd tell you to fuck off to your face and that's it. What are you going to do? So, yeah, just hold the lines, stay strong, and we're going to weather this storm. I believe the United States, I believe our founding fathers and our system and our people. We're kind, we're tolerant, but we're not so easily defeated. And yeah, it's time, we hear it a lot. The pendulum is swinging the other way, and yeah, we'll defeat this. So that's basically it, unless you'd like me to get into the whole Gen Z thing too, because I'd be glad to do
that. I wanted to weigh in on that a little bit. Iger has presidential aspirations, and he's made no secret about that. He talked about it openly, and he's 72 now. With 2024 rolling in, he'll be 73 by then. Then by the time he took office, he'd almost be 74. And like you said, we see that now with old Pop there, and he's not a very energetic 81. So, Iger has, by coming back, he completely, like you said, he shit all over his own legacy. Like, he's ruined it.
Yeah, oh, totally.
And he's the one that made the decision to buy Marvel and buy Star Wars. And look what they've done to Star Wars under his watch. This was, what did they spend? They spent $4 billion on each of them.
Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, even their own classics, and these bullshit live actions.
Yeah.
They're and everything.
They're losing money on these now. Yeah, they've made money on them, obviously, but they've ruined the brands. Therefore, they've cut their nose off to spite their face. This whole, we're gonna clap back at the fans by making stuff that over half the paying customers don't like. That's a recipe for disaster. And that's what the Marvels was. That's all that was. And Kevin Feige is to blame for that, because he's the one that wanted the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
He did. He
was
wanted
awfully hung up on Brie, and it makes you wonder why.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the feet.
Got to be that
Oof.
weird foot.
Can I just
cloven hooves?
Not to cut you off, but there was something worth watching on Disney programming this weekend, by the way, and I should have mentioned it when I was talking about it, but they brought Trump and the entourage out during the prelims, about to switch over to the pay-per-view on ESPN. So good job on that, Disney. Loved seeing America's best recent president
Real
on
president.
Your programming,
and
having
that was
Madison
fantastic.
Square Garden going crazy
Because
we all know.
Oh, go ahead.
Well,
bro.
we
All
know
right.
what a conservative stronghold New York City is, so to see them go crazy, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you had Trump, Kid Rock. Was that Dana White with him too, or
Yep.
Rogan?
It was Dana White.
Dana White.
Yep.
And they come down to American Badass. Like
Tucker Carlson was with him.
Tucker was with him. Yeah.
Gino was. I don't think he walked down with them, but he was right there with them in the crowd. Didn't take many photos. Dude, what a badass entourage, dude. Think about that in that entourage.
That's So
some people think they're
imagine that lineup on a debate.
Some people think they're gonna make Carlson the VP.
VP
for Trump.
He's said he doesn't want to run.
Yeah.
Dana
White. I do not want that kind of
shit. Why would he? He doesn't need to. But anyway, to bring this back into that's like, saying, hey, Carol Danvers, we need you for a third movie.
Sure.
Can you imagine this motherfucker in this? Well, what are we doing?
Is Axel Braun directing it? That's the only way there's going to be a third movie.
And of course, you're getting this is being you're racist now because you don't want to see this because a black woman made this movie. It's like, no, it wasn't a black woman. It was an inexperienced director who happens to be a black woman.
Did you know if you hold a seashell to your ear, you can hear, we should make Blade about social issues. Like, they thought they'd weather the storm. They thought they could push this and weather the storm. And look, I'm pretty sure they're getting all kinds of subsidies from our wonderful federal government.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point, dude, they're going to have Iger's head pretty soon, the shareholders. They're going to have his head. Like, they've... At least it was okay. Star Wars is fucked, but God, Marvel's on fire. Infinity War. I mean, they don't have that anymore. They have nothing that has positive momentum right now.
Well, like you're saying about to get a tax write-off. UO Bowl or whatever was making all those terrible video game movies and shit. And he didn't stop. He just kept fucking making them, and they did shit. And then he just collected tax write-off for it. So,
like with shelving that Coyote versus Acme, I'm hoping someone actually does pick it up because the premise actually sounded funny. Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme Corporation because of their products failing on him time and time again. That's a funny premise.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie's finished, but Warner's like, nah. We'll just take the tax write-off.
I just don't see a tax write-off when you've made $47 million and spent well over $600 million. Like, eventually it's... And not just that, but again, the people who own stock in Disney watching the stock be devalued. I mean, Disney should be riding high. They were supposed to be the ones to buy WWE at one point.
Yep.
That was whispered for like decades that they would end up buying WWE. And instead, it's a blessing it went to Endeavor. The most based athletes on the planet are under the Endeavor umbrella. This isn't good. They were talking about selling assets earlier in the year, selling off FX and maybe ABC and selling off things. So, I mean, look, I'm sure the parks are still doing fairly well, but you can't keep up like this. I mean, at the end of the day, money talks and bullshit walks. And when you're losing that kind of money, and it's not just on one movie, Black Panther probably just broke even, the second one.
Barely.
They're in trouble.
That one barely broke even.
Yeah, Brie Larson ain't working out. Chadwick Boseman passed away. Tom Holland wants to stay as far as fuck away from Hollywood for as long as he can. Like, he'll come make his money, do his movie, and he's out of the scene. And he's hinted at the things that we've talked about before as far as the dark side of Hollywood. So they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
Yeah, this we've got check this out. This one's kind of funny right here. We were talking a little bit about Feige, and here's one right here. The Marvels flop. Fuck you. The Marvels flop shows that Kevin Feige's brilliance, which drove $29 billion for Marvel, is no match for Disney's insatiable need for content. That's what this boils down to. Is they're just mass producing shite.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Marvels is, with Captain Marvel, you didn't really have to do a lot of homework to watch that movie.
No.
With the Marvels, you had to watch almost 4 D+ shows to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. Yep. Which it should have been the other way around. It should have been like, okay, let's introduce these characters in the movies, and then if you want to know more about them, you can do that on D+. If not, then whatever. But they didn't do it that way.
Supplemental material, not the
Yep, exactly.
Papa Cotton, it's not like we're not enthralled with Disney. At least I'm not. I can speak for myself, but I am enthralled with seeing this corrupt media apparatus of the Democrat Party go down in flames. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
And I hope it's slow. I hope it burns for a long time.
As much as I hated that first episode of Picard, the first season, I do think we could definitely use a line from that movie to describe Kevin Feige and Disney. Sheer fucking hubris.
Yeah. They got it. It was like the banks. They thought they were too big to fail, and they reached the denouement years ago, and now they just keep piling on garbage and hoping that there's enough of a core audience when they don't realize they effectively chase their core audience away by playing the long game and then bait and switch and then boom, here's all the. And it's not just that they're female characters, it's that they're poorly written, poorly constructed characters, and the messaging behind the show pushed your core audience away because you pushed all the characters that we came to know and love to the side, or you killed them or made them stupid. So who wants to watch that? Like who are you making Echo for? Like, there's a fucking audience clamoring for an Echo series. Like, they want to see Nick Fury get emasculated consistently. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just, it's ridiculous. And just end it. Just stop. You don't have to fucking, I mean, you don't have to stop, obviously. Keep blowing money. That's fine. And you're talking about the board, Tony. Nelson Peltz is the investor, I guess, that is leading. He's on the board, or he wants to be on the board, but he's a large investor, and he is very anti-Iger. So there's kind of that going on. There's like that little skirmish or civil war, as it were, going on now with him trying to get a seat on the board. So that's just another chink in the armor of Disney. You know what I mean?
Well, I know Perlmutter wants back in because he feels he got completely hosed.
Oh, Ike? Yeah, that was the worst. They got rid of him, and shit. Well, he took a buyout or something.
Can I just say real quick too, because Papa Cotton mentions Disney ain't going nowhere, the establishment's main propaganda machine. Yeah, they'll let that die. No, I'm sure they're going to hang on for a long time, but if you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have said the same thing about Twitter. I mean, like, I can't believe they let Twitter go. And they tried Threads, Blue Sky, all that crap, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Disney, I'm sure, will be around in some form for quite a while, but they're losing significance. They're losing power. They're losing the ability to bully the theaters into Disney taking a larger percent of ticket sales and this and that. I mean, they're losing momentum, and so are all the theaters. And good.
And that's who this, you know, that's who this hurts, is the theaters, especially the smaller ones.
Yeah.
You know,
well, should I say the production companies? I mean, are losing. Theaters too, sure, but you know what? They gotta go.
I hate, you know, I hate to say it because like our theater is like a small, like family owned deal, you know. And this movie's playing there for like 2 weeks, and it's like they're gonna draw low numbers for 2 weeks now because they only show one movie, you know. But I mean, there's really not a lot, and that's another thing. They're trying to piggyback on, well, the writer's strike just ended at midnight. They didn't have time to promote the movie. There were commercials for this everywhere. There's been marketing for this movie everywhere.
They put the cats on the Vegas eye.
Yeah. I mean, and Papa Cotton does have a point. We've now talked about the Marvels more than the some of Twitter did over the weekend, because what was the news? Donald Trump, UFC, where he's welcomed like a fucking hero every time. Yep. And it's just, they're not culturally relevant anymore. The MCU died in 2019.
Yeah. That was the end of it. It was dead.
Yep.
Fucking bury it, you know. Just let it die.
Yep.
This is just, it's gonna end, you know. That's the fucking, it needs to just go the fuck away. Like, who cares? Oh God, hang on, I gotta share this before we speaking of putting nails in the coffin. The shenanigans will continue until Marvel fans learn to appreciate peak superhero cinema.
Grace Randolph and Captain Marvel cosplay.
Pretty much.
Well.
Well, the only reason that this movie didn't do as well as it should have is because it didn't have John Cena's penis.
I haven't watched a Grace video in months.
Last time I did was Mario.
Yeah, I think that was it. The lead up to that, because of her incredibly fucking shit take. But it's nice because I don't have to cover pop culture except on this live stream now. It's all horror stuff or Florida Man news.
Yeah, well, there's no bigger pop. I'm sorry, it's true. There ain't no bigger pop culture right now than the orange glove.
You know.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Papa on the theaters can kind of go to the wayside. I get that it's a an experience, but at this point in day and age, you can get a lot of that shit and recreate the experience at home. For the most part,
yeah. The banality of evil. You know, they're the whatever word I'm looking for. They're what connect consumer wallets to the industry that's doing all kinds of awful things and has ruined countless of children's lives. And yeah, So it is, at one point I thought, I was like, man, we should save the theaters. And I enjoy going to the theater. I do.
I do too.
Not as the drive-in's better, but
and part of me doesn't think they're going to completely die out. I think it's going to be more like Disney will have its own theaters and shit. That way they get a complete profit and they don't have to.
That's what they want. They cut out.
Yeah, that's exactly. They don't have to cut out the middleman, basically, or they can cut out the middleman.
They cut the middleman out.
Yep.
Decrease. Yeah.
Yeah. That Paramount. It all goes back to that.
Yep.
And that was a couple of years ago. We were talking about that. But I think we've pretty much covered this the main topic here, the Marvels, don't you guys?
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to laugh? You guys want some? We got 17 watching now. Be sure to smack that like button. Hey, sign up as a channel member if you're not. It's only $2.99 at the low tier. Sign up for that. Request with some videos if you're a $4.99 member tier. If not, you get the videos usually a day early before they go public. I'll be recording a Halloween 1 review and part 2 later this week, and Monster Squad I'll be recording next week. And I've got a bunch more coming up. Shout out to my editor, Goodstuff. He put that John Carpenter video together today for me. And so let's get into, here's some memes. Let's laugh. Here we go. I know there's a lot of turkey in the ass memes, but I make those I make those every November, and I'm beta testing them in here before I post them on Facebook.
Did you see that Chris Pratt got a new role?
Yeah, Garfield.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is Samuel L. Jackson plays Garfield's dad, and perpetuating the eternal stereotype of the dad who wasn't there.
That trailer was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I mean, Lorenzo music will always be the quintessential
Yeah, he will.
role, but Chris Pratt actually does do his best to be different in every role. So I got to give it to him,
Mm-hmm.
So wait, so you're saying this is going to be Garfield?
My father! My father! I found my father! Oh my god!
Yup.
And he also likes Italian things.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is he a plumber who's Italian, he's a cat who has a soul of an Italian.
I don't know. Who are they gonna have play Odie? Seth Rogen?
Well, no, Odie doesn't talk. So
yeah,
Seth Rogen's gonna play him. He's just gonna be able to go ho 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 ho.
They're even letting you record your own like cat videos and shit, and even dog videos, and they might wind up in the movie too.
That's funny. Speaking of which, I wanted to talk real quick. We've got the poll up in the chat. We're at 44% for Survivor Series 97, 31 for Unforgiven 03, and 12 apiece for 87 and 91 Survivor Series. So looks like as of right now, we still have the 97 Survivor Series in the lead, which is, if I'm not mistaken, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Montreal Screw Job, which that was 25 years ago this year. Yeah, 25 years ago. Imagine that. That was before the days when Goldberg ruined Bret Hart's career because Goldberg is a fucking piece of shit. And they're fuck him. God. What a garbage motherfucker. Like,
remember, folks, if you pick Unforgiven 03, we can see if we can find the Draven.
You said you were there?
Because I was there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, watch WrestleMania in 23 and look for me if they ever pan up to the nosebleeds. And what section was I in? Where's my ticket stub?
That's like me with Unforgiven 05. I was way up in the nosebleeds.
I was like midway, like in the hard cam side, and it was packed. That hard cam excuse wasn't a thing back then.
The only pay-per-view I ever went to was the Mania in 23, WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. That's the only pay-per-view I've ever been to. The rest of them were, I went to Nitros, Thunder, Saturday Night, SmackDown, fucking, I've been to, a handful of Raws. Sit in front row at Raw was kind of cool. The closest I ever got for Nitro was we sat like 4 or 5, maybe 6 rows back. But I sat front row at Raw, and then we sat we were like the second or third row back for a SmackDown, which was kind of cool. But yeah, a couple of my buddies went to pay-per-views. They got to keep the fucking chairs and shit like that.
Nice.
When they,
for
that was,
row.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty slick. You got to keep your fucking chair. So yeah, he got my boys got one of the chairs from the pay-per-view, which was kind of neat. Man, I'm excited to watch any of these tomorrow. I was kind of hoping for one of the older, somebody would we would get for some love for like 87, the inaugural Survivor Series, Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. That was you're looking back then when it was only quarterly pay-per-views. You didn't have the in your house. At one point it was WrestleMania, then you had SummerSlam and the Rumble and Survivor Series. That was your year right there. And then in your house came, they started doing all these different ones. And I mean, it was nice. But I mean, I kind of miss the days of like 4 of them a year, it seems. And then would they have 2 a month during the brand split in WWE? Yeah. The Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views, which was the SmackDown ones were just unwatchable.
Crap, man, it sucked.
If I wasn't watching them for free, I would have never watched any of those. There was very few matches on there that were, and especially like it was like, oh, and then you had you threw the ECW brand in the mix. I mean, that bringing that back was like, hey, look, we dug up our pet that we loved for years and years, and then it died, and then we dug it up, and we're like, hey, remember this? It's like, why would you do that? You know, that's basically them like, hey, look, we can do a cash grab, because they did the one night only pay-per-view, and Vince, that went over good, let's make it a show on Sci-Fi, we need a zombie. Remember that? The Sandman beat the shit out of the fucking zombie. I'll never forget that. I was like, yay, ECW. Oh God. Like, that was, and the luster and the shine wore off that pawn store ring in about fucking 5 minutes. The second they had a guy come out as the zombie, I'm like, oh no. This is like some wonky fucking early 90s. This is like some 1994 WWF shit right here. Here's Max Moon. Here's Johnny Polo. It's Adam Bomb. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's Sparky Plug. Get the fuck out of here.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Dude, the Goon. The hockey player. The Goon. Danny, I know Tony, Draven, Adam, you guys watch, CJ, you might watch wrestling bios at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see his video about the most famous jobbers the other day?
Oh, I hadn't watched that one yet. It's in my to-watch list.
I got about halfway through it so far.
Okay,
I was listening to a bit of it last night.
Did you get up to the letter E?
Yeah, but I was in the shower, so maybe I didn't catch it.
So E is Eric Freedom, who I, as a worker, had heat with, because he's from not too far away from me, and we had a lot of crossover. And the two guys that we started, that I was in the promotion with, that they started, well, they hired me. They started, but it was NWA Absolute Entertainment, and they both trained under Eric Freedom. And then he screwed them over like he does all of his trainees that he can't juice any further for anything of value. And he kind of shit on them. So they left and they started promotion. They brought me in. And then he was running a show and the motherfucker's ring broke during the main event. Like, just the center of it fucking snapped and collapsed. And it was him and his tag partner versus this dude, John, and his partner, Chad, who I would later go to work for at John's promotion, which was IWE. That's where I ended my career, was for him. So this is back in the MySpace days. So this ring breaks. We get word of it that night through like a couple different fucking message boards for indie wrestling and shit. And it's like, his fucking ring broke. So my ass gets on MySpace. I was like joking around. I'm like, hey, anybody ever been to a wrestling show where the ring breaks? I had 6 workers cancel for my show the following week, like 3 days before, because I didn't even realize I had heat. I was green as fuck. I was like, oh shit. Like, why are all these guys kids like, dude, you can't do that shit. I'm like, what? So I was at the time I was going to college, and that John dude went to the same college I did, and we bumped it. Him motherfucker wouldn't say nothing to me then until we ran into each other at a show, and then we talked, and like everything was like a couple of years later, everything was copacetic, but it was just so funny. I was like, I had heat over that? Like, really? Like, that shit was just funny. I'm like, well, it's not my fault your ring was a busted ass piece of shit. Like, but he's Eric Freedom is a shitbag human being. Don't mistake that. Like,
can I don't know. It's off.
No, go ahead.
I almost got heat the few times I was like helping out at wrestling events and working the camera or whatever. Because like my first time there, I went backstage. My buddy was taking me around. I went to meet someone and I shook their fucking hand. And it's like, you don't shake hands like that back here.
Yep.
You lightly grab. And I get it's tradition. I get that.
It's a worker's handshake.
I get it, but it's like, man,
no,
just shake fucking hands. shake it like you lightly grasp the other person's hand, and it's very effeminate. I don't usually go Hank Hill, but I did bow. I was like, oh, like,
but
I do a bad Hank Hill. It was weird.
Whoa. But that's the thing. That go ahead.
No, I was saying, yeah, tell us about it. Like,
no, that's I learned that the exact same way because my very first experience in the locker room was my first show, and I shook hands with a couple guys that kind of looked at me funny, and one of the promoters, my boy Gary, he pulled me aside. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, I didn't tell you." He goes, "I should have." He goes, "You got to do a worker's handshake." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You're green." He goes, "You'll fucking learn." He goes, "Give me your hand." And he shakes my hand and he goes, "This is how hard." And it's literally, it's like you're grasping a toddler's hand.
Yeah,
it is. And it feels weird.
That's some gay ass shit.
But so that's why I, instead of the fuck, because I couldn't stand doing that. I go to the hey, and then the fucking shoulder hug. You know what I mean? That's how I always said hi. I didn't shake hands. I didn't really shake hands. Even if I was just meeting somebody, I'd give them the fucking what's up, give me the fucking and then the shoulder hug. That's how I said hi, because I'm like, I can't do this. It's a limp wristed handshake. I understand the psychology, because the psychology behind it is, if you stiff me in a handshake, what's to say you're not going to fucking stiff me in the ring? That's the psychology behind it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Number one, Papa, imagine like you and I went to shake hands, and right as we we just touched each other's hands just about as light as possible, almost a caress.
You're just very like this, like very just coming in and just like that.
Yeah.
It's very light.
And my thing is this, like, you do meet those people that are like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and they try to shake your hand real hard. And it's like, I don't know. They're just kind of an insecure dick. But
that's always been stupid to me.
Yeah, there's no need to be an insecure dick back, though. Like, people shake hands, whatever, you know. I'm not going to judge. Again, I'm not a worker, but I'm not going to judge you by your in-ring work. I mean, if they're going to fucking stiff you, they're going to stiff you. If you're going to get in the ring with John Layfield, he's going to fucking stiff you, you know?
Yep.
Like,
you're going to get punched in the mouth.
How he shakes your hand.
It explains a lot of why wrestling is the way it is now.
Right? Yeah. Wow. Well, now the guys, they don't shake hands, they dock, is how the AEW says hello to each other. Like Orange Cassidy, Orange Cassidy opens up and accepts Ricky Starks and just engulfs him.
I put some.
I don't make the rule.
It's a match I think that we've got to watch.
I got out before the docking started. I'm like, I'm done. You guys are weird. I'm done.
I agree with you, Papa. Like, it
is. No, I never, trust me, 10 years and I never fucking understood it. 40 years as a fan, 10 years in the business, never fucking understood it. The one, like I said, that's why I always, like I said, I go to the fucking, you know, the kind of like, what's up? And then the shoulder hug, because I'm like, that's, you know, I could kind of lay it in a little bit more there and don't have to fucking worry about it. You know, it always threw me off though, when like a guy, cause like I said, I was 240 and a guy bigger than me has like this, like, very you know what I mean, Tony? Like, you're shaking hands with some dude who's got biceps that are bigger than my fucking head. Yeah. And
I'd be like, fuck it, I'm getting heat. I'm sorry,
dude.
But then it's weird. But little shit like that will get you heat in the locker room. Like, one thing I always did, because I didn't like I said, I quit doing the handshake thing, but heel or face, no matter what, you get up when you walk up into the ring. Before you get in the ring, I don't care if it's fucking training or
you wipe your feet.
Wipe your fucking feet, because that's a sign of respect for everybody that's come before you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always did that. The only time I ever got into the ring without doing that is during a run-in, obviously, because you're gonna stop and wipe your feet. You know, you're getting into fucking mob on somebody. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just, it's the little subtleties and nuances to the business like that, you know, it gets lost on people And it is from the outside looking in, it is a very fucking weird, odd thing for men to shake hands. Like, it is absolutely. And like I said, it took me a while to get used to it. And then when I did, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Just bump elbows or something. Like, it's weird.
But I also got heat the first show because I went around the locker room to introduce myself, but I had a hotel room, so I went and changed in my hotel room. I had my own
isn't that a no too? They don't like you changing not in the locker room. Shit.
Yeah.
Because they think they think you're better than them.
And I was a rookie, so it was like that's a big fucking no.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it was like I was always in the locker room, But yeah, nobody ever fucked with my bag, but I mean there was a lot of chicanery with people's bags that weren't very popular in the locker room, shall we say.
Oh, that shit would piss me off.
Oh, dude, at one point, like an entire gear bag was stolen. Like, I mean, you're talking a couple $100 worth of gear and your boots and shit like that. Not to mention whatever else you had in there. Yeah. I mean, we've seen fucking fights back there. Oh, they come back through the curtain and what the fuck was, and then it's like, dude, the fucking crowd can hear you. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, that shit was always fun. That's why when the first day I came into IWE, I grabbed every guy that was in our stable and I said, get your fucking shit and go sit back there. They're like, well, that's our spot. I said, we're a fucking stable. I said, we're going to sit together. I said, this is our fucking area. I said, nobody else sitting here. And that's what we did. We kind of separated ourselves. And I'm like, all of us were I was 8.5 years at that point. So I was like, everybody else was like 7, 8, 9 to 12 years. So it's like, let's do that. Always Buck.
Manlina, he's been popping them off with all these wrestling references.
But
Charlie
I do
stiffed Corey Haim.
I got invited to a show Saturday night. It's my boy Jared's Shogun, Japanese style promotion. And it's like, yeah, I want to fucking go, but it's like I can't go. I can't go to a show that all I have to do is be like, hey, I want to work, and I'm on the card, and just sit there in the crowd. I can't fucking do it. Especially now getting back in shape. It's like, man, no, like I want to get in there and fucking run the ropes. And
I really like Shogun, because I like it on Facebook, so I'm always seeing posts for it and promotion. We got a show this weekend, but it's like, man, I really miss there's no pride in American wrestling anymore. Everyone wants to be Japan, and it's like, I want my big, larger than life, even cheesy wrestler to come out with the red, white, and blue and fight be proud or be like an American badass like Steve Austin or Undertaker or something. I really, really miss that, and I really think it's one of the fundamental problems in wrestling today. You saw even in Saudi Arabia, they were going ape shit for LA Knight, who's one of the few who models himself off of American wrestlers. And it's like a white guilt thing within the wrestling community.
Yeah.
If I'm going to wrestle, I'm going to wrestle right, like the Japanese. And it's like, Americans want entertainment. And that's why, even the biggest wrestling promotion, they're getting ratings that WCW was getting in their dying days, and they're getting booted off their networks, man. I really miss American wrestling.
The biggest example of that is if you watch any of Hulk Hogan's matches from Japan to see how almost radically different he wrestled in Japan as opposed to
he did chain.
Yeah.
He's over there wrestling fucking chain, and he comes here and all he's doing is headlock, fucking punches, big boot, leg drop, body slam.
That's all he needed for America.
Yeah. Eye rake.
How long he went,
dude. I lived on that as a heel. It was like, unless we were doing a big spot or I called something, it was like, I'm fucking, dude. Like I said, I was trained in Tennessee style. I worked that 1970s to 1980s shit. let's make this a fucking, let's tell the story. We'll get over with the crowd. If we need to do one big spot, all right, but let's make it count, not make it stupid. It's gotta make sense to advance the fucking story of the match. You know, yeah, we did a couple like Tower of Doom spots. Fucking James is power bombing fucking the midget into a fucking wall. I mean, we did shit like that. We used fucking chairs, we used bricks. I mean, but it was in a match where it was like, this means something. You know, that's why you fucking do it. You don't just, hey, look, we're the opening match on the card. Here's 17 falsies, fucking 4 tables, 36 chairs, the announce table. Oh, it's just the opening match. No. Where the fuck is everybody else going to go from there? Yeah. You have the crowd sitting on their hands in the second fucking match because you want to come out and act like it's WrestleMania in the opener. Like, the only time you get to do shit like that in the opener is if you're MJF, and he didn't even do that shit when he was working Garcia on AEW last week.
See, MJF's another one who models himself off of American wrestling. Yep. And that's he even went off. Yeah, he went off at that scrum. Draven remembers when he's like, guys, you're out there fucking killing your bodies for a bunch of fans who aren't going to appreciate it anyway. They're going to MJF did it. He's like, I'm not doing all that shit, and look at where I am. I'm the world heavyweight champion. Like,
yeah,
he's right.
Why would he? Doesn't have to. He's so fucking over.
When he does, it means more too. When he does some crazy shit, because then the fans are like, "Oh, dude, that was awesome. We didn't expect him to do that." Yeah.
Speaking of that, that was awesome. Tony, I heard you mentioning what earlier. This is awesome. And Tony, you and I have had this. That is the lowest common denominator of fan chant there is.
What?
Dude, this is awesome.
This is awesome.
What's his name? Was it Russo or whatever that was saying about that's all they're trying to fucking do is get the "this is awesome" chants because they're all fucking marks in the ring instead of actual pro wrestlers.
Papa wants to know when we're watching a little JCW.
Dude, we could do, you know, if he wasn't if he wasn't such a racist prick, I'd fucking hit Rude Boy up and get him on. I used to work with Rudy, man. I've been on cards where he defended the JCW fucking belt against, what the fuck was that dude's name? He's dead. The dude's dead now. They're bleeding all over the place. I'll sabu your mama through a coffee table. What is a juggalo? A juggalo. Ask what it is. Well, fuck if I know. Yeah, I was just listening.
My run-in entrance music was by Twisted. We Twisted All Die. What was the name of the song?
Oh, sorry.
Because I'm a vampire.
I hit the wrong comment. My bad, Tone. Which one?
No, what were you? Oh, no, Nelson's.
Okay,
he took a non-choreographed belly to belly.
Yeah, fuck that. I got offered an MMA fight once. It was run in my hometown. They used to do an MMA event here, and they had an open heavyweight spot. And I was like, no. I'm not fucking stupid. I was only like 215. The dude, they're like, I was like, well, how big's the other guy? He's like, well, 240. I'm like, how much experience is he? Like green? Because I can box, you know. I'm like, you know, I know a little. This is before I was even in the wrestling business. I'm like, he's been fighting, doing MMA and all that shit, and he does judo. I'm like, fuck that. Nope. If he was like, you know,
it's like I can street box. Like,
yeah, like no, I'm not getting in there. I'm getting in there fighting Steve motherfucking Blackman. Like, nope.
Motherfucking Black.
I took the motherfucking kick. No, thank you.
The problem really I have with modern wrestling is the fact that it's Meltzer. Dave Meltzer is the problem.
Yep.
They're all catering to him, not to what the actual audience wants.
That's why I want to create that aggregate, CJ. Like
I know.
I want to create an aggregate set like Rotten Tomatoes for wrestling almost, where we can set up past shows and whatever, and you can rank wrestlers and like to have a better standard than Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
Like man.
The problem is less is more. You don't need all of that in a match. I hate the fact that the Canadian Destroyer is become the DDT.
Well, even Jake the Snake even was like, the DDT isn't like, it's overused and like it just lost its specialness.
Same with the super kick, dude.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, the Young Bucks.
Bret Hart was talking about it. He was at an event recently and all the kids were slapping their legs along with the super kick, and he was like, it's like we're all in on the joke now. He's like, you know, back when I was wrestling, it wasn't like that. Like the fans, I mean, we knew it was scripted, of course, but you could still buy into it and appreciate the performance, you know, and it's not that anymore.
No. And that was one thing, even with us, man. We protected the business. Like we were trained that way, though. You know, you're trained by these old school guys. What up, my
sorry, he's jumping in real quick.
Orale.
Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Orale, man. Good to see you.
Or as the drunk calls it, or what is it? Orale? It's what
razor? What the hell is that?
Oh, the character gimmicks and interviews, dude. The 80s interviews where everybody would like scream at the camera, like
I remember being a kid and flipping through, and I think it must have been Superstars came on, whatever.
Yep.
And I'm watching Ultimate Warrior, like, and you know, we know he's not known for his promo work, but I'm watching him give a promo, and just as a little kid, I'm like, what the fuck is it? Like, you couldn't help but watch. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And now you have Jimmy Jacobs up there talking about something that doesn't matter, and it's just some dude. You know, I miss the larger than life.
What's Jimmy Jacobs on now?
I don't know.
Well, no, I remember, dude.
Impact.
I was gonna say, because like I know he was writing for WWE because I hung out with him and Rollins because they were in Ring of Honor. The night we were at the bar with the Sandman, those two were there. Seth Rollins was Tyler Black, and him and Jimmy Jacobs were in Age of the Fall. Like,
you were hanging out with Seth Rollins, and you lived to tell the tale without getting a broken back by a buckle bomb.
Yep. Yeah, dude. Fucking. He's like this. He's literally like the same size as me. Like it's so funny. Like he's not a big guy. That's what made it look so fucking hilarious when he got taken down on TV. Remember that guy came out and double legged him?
Yes.
That was fucking hilarious.
Yes, I was just watching that the other day.
That was fucking priceless.
Not to pick on Jimmy Jacobs specifically, it's just you've got some dude with a normal name, Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever, and
Daniel Bryanson.
I don't know. You always had your Bret Harts or your Shawn Michaels, or but they were larger than life to at least make up for it. It's like when I watch wrestling now, I feel like I don't want to be that guy. I feel like, Jesus, I am that guy. Like, there's not much to aspire to, I guess.
No.
The inspiration is gone.
Well, yeah, because it's like just a bunch of guys now, for the most part. Like, I mean, you've got some guys with gimmicks, I think like just Wardlow being Wardlow works for him. But I mean, you look at some of these guys, it's like, it's like, here's your name. It's just their name. And then there's nothing else that, it's vanilla.
They're all basically generic creator wrestler number 2.
Yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing there. It's like just some guy. There's just two guys out there doing aggressive gymnastics.
Well, I mean it when I say, what is this dude thinking? Stepping into the wrestling business, he could be anyone and anything he wants to be, and he says Wheeler. That's who Wheeler Yuta. That's who I am. Who does that? I mean, that's not a very creative mind. And it's like, well, I wrestle. I go in the ring. It's
hell,
like,
at least my name is
that
like
to be a wrestler.
Different enough that it like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It takes more than being able to go in the ring. Like, again, bring it back to Hulk Hogan. Take him to Japan. You see him go in the ring. He's doing all kinds of crazy shit, but that's not all that he is. Imagine if that's all Hulk Hogan was, but there's so much more to the package. And anyway, I'm all like white-pilled about Disney, and now we're talking about wrestling, and I feel like the world is ending.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, cocaine definitely made for great wrestling manliness.
Yes, it did. Cocaine and steroids.
Everything in the 80s was better because of the cocaine.
Yep.
Well, the newer wrestlers, you can tell who was good at making a creative character and who wasn't good at making a creative character.
Yeah.
In wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep. Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you. Wiggler.
Another moment brought to you by cocaine. Thank you,
Yep.
Booker T.
Good job, Booker.
Can someone tell me why Cole from AEW looks like he's old enough to have been wrestling since the Attitude Era without the talent?
Because he's a vegan?
Yeah.
Is Cole a vegan?
I don't know. He's emaciated like one.
Yeah, he is, and he broke his ankle like fucking just jumping like a foot off or something. Like,
Does he have an Axe Andretti propeller foot too?
That's another thing. Like, how Adam Cole looks is just out of line. Like, if you're going to get in that ring, show respect and lift some fucking weights. Or at least be really fat like Yokozuna. Like, have something physically imposing about you. Not just...
He looks like a barista.
Even MJF made fun of him when they went to they were doing that lifting thing. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't really do it. Like, it was like, what the fuck, dude?
He looks like he does half-ass CrossFit, but then complains to everyone else that he's a CrossFitter.
Yep. It's like, I love that meme when you try to square up with a CrossFitter, but they can't because of ankle, knee, shoulder, and neck pain.
Speaking of ankles, outside of wrestling, I did like that a certain someone's last game before retirement ended in a non-contact Achilles, and then blamed God for it.
What's this?
Megan Rapinoe,
Yep,
the soccer player.
Oh yeah.
Final game of her career, she tears her Achilles without anyone touching her. 3 minutes into the game.
Wow.
Yep.
And she's like, well, if there was a God, this proves he doesn't exist because I don't deserve this. I'm like, oh, bitch, you do.
Oh, but you do, Megan. Oh, but you do.
So, yeah. Rhea Ripley would have sewn it up and went back to work.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Hang on. We got a video to share here from... All right, Rollins is 6'1", I'm 6'3", but we were literally like the same like weight at that point. I don't think, I mean, he's probably built a little bigger than me now because I'm just getting my ass back in shape. But I'm about 210. He's only about 216, 217. He's not a big guy. That's what made me laugh when I was like, I got all yoked out. I was like, this motherfucker's small. Like, he's a little guy.
That new world heavyweight title they have isn't as big as the big gold belt, but it still looks huge on Seth. Like, it looks too big for Seth.
Do they have 3 world titles now?
No.
Technically, but they do have the Universal title and then, technically the WWE title and then the World Heavyweight. So we're back to that now.
I thought they got rid of the...
Didn't they get rid of the Universal?
I thought it's just the Universal. And
that's the WWE title basically is the Universal. So you've got your champion of the universe now, the WWE universe. Then you have your world heavyweight, and then you have your intercontinental and your United States, and
so there's only 2 world. Well,
where's the Galactic champion?
That's funny. I was partially trained by a guy that out of Chicago that wrestled as the Galactic Grappler. He was fucking
Sweet.
he had an all green space. He looked like the Green Bastard. Fucking parts unknown. Corey Trevor, get in the fucking ring. I can't wait to start hammering people.
Hey, at least he's trying though. You know,
he had an all green like spacesuit, luchador mask. He had a fucking big ass globe helmet, a cape. Oh, he had like a voice modulator in his helmet. It was so fucking funny, dude. The crowd at first didn't like the first show we booked him. They didn't know how to react to him. By the third show, they fucking loved him.
this is like what Papa said. Cocaine made for a great decade.
Yep.
That's why you could never replicate the 80s.
No.
Because you'd all have to be on cocaine to do it.
All the coke's got fentanyl in it now. You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a trap.
Yeah. You're right, my sketchbook. Creator Wrestler Award goes to Kevin Owens. That dude's repertoire is every big name finisher. Yeah.
One of the rumors right now is Ava Marie might go to AEW.
Why?
I don't know.
Why did they let go of the bunny?
Yeah, she's gone now. I saw AEW let her. They parted ways.
Yeah, they did. I don't know why they let go of her either. She started an OnlyFans too.
Of course she did. She's not making a paycheck from AEW anymore.
Yeah.
Cocaine and cocaine accessories. God damn it.
Oh, and then there was another thing that I seen that Paige Van Zandt might make her a return when she wasn't really there for like a couple weeks, if that.
Yeah, I was gonna say she trained for a couple weeks, and then just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go do photo shoots for OnlyFans."
Yeah, with Mandy Rhodes.
Well, that's Bunny. She's like the type of girl you meet at the bar and take home for a night. Like, I don't want to start a long-term relationship by subscribing to her OnlyFans or something. Like, she's not that kind of like it. Yeah, she. I don't know.
You take her home to mom is what you're trying to say, Tony.
Yeah, like, or you know. If she was
having
my first choice.
Death match. We're having a death match like she did with the women. And at the end of it, we're both going to be bloodied up. And then might make some sweet love afterwards. But yeah.
Is that before or after Cosby? I mean, glamour.
It depends.
Oh, yeah.
She's into horror shit, so the teeth might not have the glamour.
Right?
Yeah, Nelson says not even the Green Bastard and Trailer Park Boys from Parts Unknown is larger than life compared to today's wrestlers.
Yeah, there's not very many good ones today, sadly. There's a few.
Mm-hmm.
Like a diamond in a goat's ass, but that's about it.
Yeah.
MJ.
It just, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't mean to give the guy a hard time all the time, but like, Cody is not a main eventer in my eyes. And I know he's tried really hard and he's worked really hard, but it blows my mind that the fans in WWE give him such a response. Like, he's such a just inauthentic little prick.
Manila, man.
I don't.
It's Manila.
Yeah.
Big part.
It's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's like we went through like almost 15 years of stale John Cena, which at least he was an American wrestler, you know. And you're like, I can't wait for this to end, and maybe it might get a little, you know, worth watching again. And then it just delves into a dark place. That's why I like look at the LA Knights, even though he's a bit old. I look at the MJFs, and that gives me hope for the future. But man, like, they need to be more than just in a pool of main eventers. They need to be like, especially MJF, like the face, the brand itself, and treated that way.
Yeah, manliness. MJF actually used to be smaller than he is now. When he first came in, when he was first in AEW.
What up, Vinny?
Jacked up pretty good.
What up, Vin? Yeah, MJF got big. He's on gear.
A lot of that, I think, was for the Iron Claw movie. So
Yeah.
But he's on gear. You can tell he's got They show close-ups of his face. He's got acne all over his face and his back and shit. He's on the gear. But I don't care. I don't fucking care. I say let them fucking do it. Let them do it. If they want to fucking do it,
it's not like they're it's not
not
like
the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's an actual sport, so
No.
it doesn't really matter if they do or
No,
not.
it's not they don't have to get fucking wrestling licenses. Some states still require it, which you're okay. So you're talking about, we always talk about cultural rot and things like that, and that's really applicable in wrestling. But the thing is, there's enough guys in the business still, and I can speak to AEW more because I'm more familiar with the rosters over there than I am with the Fed right now. But Tony, you're absolutely right about Cody Rhodes. Dude's a mid-carder. He's a mid-carder. That's it with him. That's where it died. He's a fucking mid-carder. I never saw him.
Disagrees.
His brother was more of a mid-mainer than Cody is.
Yeah. Cody
Dustin
just
had more of his dad in him than
it's so artificial with him. There's nothing redeeming about him to me. Like I don't whatever brand he's selling, I ain't buying. But I mean, you got guys in AEW that can work and can promo. They're wrestlers.
Yep.
They're not fucking, you got guys like, okay, so you got Big Bill, you got Wardlow, you got MJF, you got Keith Lee, you got Miro, is that his name?
Yeah, Miro.
I mean, you got Swerve Strickland. Swerve is a fucking dude's bomb. The fucking Gates of Agony or whatever them guys are, the tag team there, the Samoans, FTR. And I can, if I had the list in front of me, I can sit here and be like, okay, this guy, but there's enough guys on that roster. There's a core nucleus that's are
what we
actual.
Should do, some night go through the AEW roster and who we'd cut and who we'd keep and book our own thing.
Yeah, I'm down for that. But that's what I'm saying is there's enough guys on there that are wrestlers that you can build around that and make your company. You got Jeff Jarrett, you got Jay Lethal,
they have them straddled with a comedy bit shit when it's like Lethal should be like in the main event. Like,
Jay Lethal's always done comedy though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's still good enough to that he should be in like the main event picture. Like,
but he can be in the main event and still do that type gimmick though. That's the thing is like, because he makes it look good and he makes it work to where psychology wise, it's like, okay, this guy isn't just a clown. He can actually work too and get over and be funny or be serious when he has to. But there's enough.
My favorite Jay Lethal moment's still the woo off.
Oh God, yeah.
Ric Flair. That was absolute gold.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love the Black Machismo though. That shit was fun.
It was fun.
I love that. But no, so you can build around that. That's the thing is Tony Khan does Booker of the Year. Like I said, I've got my old notebook around here. It's around the office somewhere. I can show you how I had angles booked and shit like that. But I mean,
look at how he's treated his world champion most of this year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's hard because it's not like any of the like there's more wrestling now than there has been in decades, but it's again, I don't know if any booker deserves that, but I mean, fuck, if they would just build stars, that's all they're really missing. Like you guys, like Jay Lethal, why not stick Ric Flair with them once Sting retires or something and build him up as a main eventer? They can act goofy. They can, have their little skits or whatever, Jay Lethal and Ric Flair, but like build them up as a threat in the ring,
Yeah.
Who's that other Jay White?
Yeah, Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, Juice Robinson, the Guns, the Gun Boys.
we were talking about Jay White a couple weeks ago. I was saying I don't really view him as a main eventer, but he could be, you know?
Yep.
I think the booking right now for him has been shit because he was a main eventer in New Japan.
Yeah.
And he was freaking awesome. His promos were great and everything. But what they have him straddled with right now is just, like, personally, I'm not a fan of the guns. Like, yeah, they can work good, but they're just generic as fuck. Like, they need, like, Juice works with Jay White, but the guns just do not work.
See, I think it's a decent stable. I like the guns. I like them. I like their heel. I like that attitude. They're both built like fucking tanks. And they're quick. They're good in the ring. They're brothers. They have great fucking chemistry. They have great communication. They can quarterback a match as heels. I like that whole Bang Bang Gang thing. Jay White is a fucking great dude. Is a great worker. He's a little vanilla on the microphone. His promos aren't good. Juice cuts a fucking way better promo.
Better shit in New Japan. Like, that's the thing. I don't know what it is here that I think he's like holding back. Honestly,
I want him to gain about 15 pounds. I do. He weighs 170 pounds, soaking fucking wet. If he's a
yeah, but he's jacked as fuck though. Like,
he ain't jacked. He's fucking. He's cut because he only weighs 170 fucking pounds. He needs to put on a little bit of mass. Sacrifice some of that cut and put some mass on. It'll help his body in the long run, and it'll fucking make him look a little bit more plausible if he's gonna get a world title. Because I'm sorry, dude. You got noodle arms out there looking like Vince fucking Russo holding the world title. I mean,
yeah, I don't like the whole I get what they're doing with the whole stealing the title thing, but it's just
I do. It's fine.
My issue is with skinny. Yeah, with the stealing of the title thing is we just had Nyla do that with Jade. Why do we need another angle where they're stealing a title? Like, it makes no sense.
Because Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
You're right.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
And like, I like all the other aspects with MJF, like the whole devil thing, Samoa Joe, Wardlow, all that shit. Like, I like all that stuff.
That's another one. Samoa Joe, another fucking big dude, veteran. As much shit as we give him, he can fucking wrestle. He can cut a good promo. The crowd fucking loves him.
So they have this Continental tournament or some shit that they announced like this past Wednesday or whatever. And it culminates at World's End, which is in December. And I think they're trying to make it their G1 or whatever, like in New Japan. And I was listening to some people talk, and they're like, if they're going to do this and they're trying to be like G1, they need to put all their main eventer guys in this fucking thing and not just random fucking schlubs to fucking,
would be better.
Fill a card.
It'd be better than trying to imitate G1 would be you're running in December. It's the end of your fucking year. Do a show. You can't use the name, but do a show modeled after fucking Starrcade. Do a fucking Starrcade type show. Don't fucking model your shit. Stop with the Japanese shit. I know that's what they're gonna do, and that's what but if you want to be successful and actually get pay-per-view buys and stop getting fucking 700 to 800,000, that's their number. They don't fucking they don't break that. That's it.
Unless it's a pay-per-view.
And they're already selling tickets for Wembley. I'll be interested to see how that fucking turns out for them, because if I don't think they'll do that. Was it 83,000 legit last year, or was it 70?
Is it 83, 81, something like it?
I don't think they'll do that number again with the way this shit is going.
I think they will do a decent. I don't know if they might either break even or like slightly, but not much over, just because the overseas in England and stuff, they don't get wrestling enough. And the biggest part of their audience is over there. Because it's not, for whatever reason, it's just not, they don't, like, they're starving over there for it. Over here, we're so oversaturated. It's like, whatever.
Yeah. Did they sign Ospreay?
They did not yet.
Is he still a free agent technically then?
I don't think he's a free agent yet.
Well, he's been wrestling. He's wrestled a couple shows for TNA.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So he might be. Well, I don't think TNA makes. Well, do they make their guys sign contracts now, or is that still okay?
Yeah, they do have contracts. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if they. Well, I mean contracts, but I didn't know if they were free to work other dates or not. Is what I'm.
Well, yeah. Usually they have if depending if they negotiate it, they can have dates outside of Impact. They just have to obviously make sure that they clear it with management first. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So his contract with New Japan is up in February.
Well, he must have been working on a handshake deal between Japan and Impact.
Yep.
Well, they just had a cross promotion show anyway, so
that'd be big. Like he's another guy. Like, yeah, he works that certain style, but it's like as long as it's not in the ring with Chris Jericho, you put him in there in a good program with somebody, and he can. The dude's good. He's over. I don't necessarily dig that style, but I mean, I do like Will Ospreay. I got a lot of respect for the guy as a worker. He's fucking phenomenal athlete.
Well, his match with Josh Alexander was fantastic because they didn't work as much flippy dippy ship in that one.
Okay.
From Impact, you watched the full match on YouTube.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I like Josh Alexander. He's kind of a Kurt Angle kind of throwback.
Nice. I fuck Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah, the guy that wears the headgear. Yeah, the headgear. Like what's his name used to in
Rick Steiner.
Yeah, Rick Steiner. Yeah,
he's a good worker.
Kirk wore it too in the Fed for a little bit. He had the headwear. Remember when he had
top
on his head when he was bald?
Yep. Yeah.
Weird.
He was hiding. He was bald.
Footage of him with hair now. I'm so used to him looking like a thumb.
Fucking Angle. Goddamn. I just.
Vinny mentioned
I can't believe
some people that they should get rid of. I agree with most of it except Garcia. I think Garcia is just being booked shittily right now.
Oh, right here. Okay. So Ricky Starks. Okay, I'm on the fence with Ricky Starks because as a wrestler, he's not terrible in the ring. It's just the gimmick, and trust me, as somebody who's seen a lot of fucking gimmicks, not only television but like around the circuit. I know I see what he's trying to do with it. I do. It just doesn't work. And I don't know. They're trying to like him and Big Bill is too much of Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah, and then he mentioned getting rid of Brandon too, which that's a given.
Oh, that's a given. Yeah, get rid of that fucking freak show. Tony Khan. Yeah, I would love to see somebody else that knew what they were doing get this company.
He just needs to take back. He needs to just like step back. Like he can promote the show and stuff. But he doesn't need to be anywhere near the booking. He needs to be how Ted Turner was with WCW. Like, yeah, you're the money guy. You're the guy giving the money. But get somebody that's like Bischoff or whoever to do your booking and all that shit.
And I've heard Cornette say it, and I've heard Russo say it, and they're both correct in saying that Tony Khan is like a kid playing with action figures. And he gets mad when they don't do what he wants him to do. That's... And he never takes in like he's too busy throwing together dream matches to actually book anything coherent. And that's the fucking Achilles heel of that entire the company is
NXT or whatever is getting are going to CW. The rumor is I don't know if it's true or not, but that before even those talks were happening with WWE, AEW was in talks to have a show and do something with with CW, and it went cold. And I think that's because Tony is trying to put all his eggs in one basket type thing, which doesn't work because, well, it can work, but Bischoff on his 83 weeks or whatever today was talking about how like you want to diversify and not put all your eggs in one. That's why you have multiple networks, because then you can leverage that when you go into a TV signing, because you can be like, oh, well, if you're not going to sign us, we'll just go over here. You know what I mean? Like, we'll just do this and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. But yeah, so, and a lot of Bischoff's gripes are like they're given opportunities and they like fumble the opportunities. And it's just like, you know.
Yeah. So. No, they have AEW they have every opportunity to put themselves up in actual direct competition with WWE. The problem is you have a man-child running the business.
Yep.
And
it's funny too, because like we've been watching, like, you know, some of the guys begrudgingly have been watching, but we watch, and like there's times where they're like, oh, they're fucking like shit that we've been saying, they're like fucking implementing. Yep. And then as soon as they start implementing things for like a couple weeks that we had mentioned, then they like take 2 steps fucking back. It's like, what are you doing? Like, keep going with that, like you with that momentum. But it's like they can't keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, Vinny. Says I'd give a raise to Tony Storm, Anna Jay, Julia Hart, Harley, Sky Blue, Red Velvet, and then some extra money. There we go. Eddie Murphy would give a raise to Nyla Rose. God damn it, manliness.
Well, he would. Rhea May too, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. He needs to take a book out of Impact's playbook, because they're one of the few feds that have been able to book women correctly for the most part over the last 20 years.
Yeah. Dude, their knockouts division from like 2007 till about 2010 or 11 was fucking great. Like there was some stinkers in there. I know the Jenna Maraska man. I with Charmel. I know that was fucking the worst women's match in history outside of Jackie Gata's first match. But
and the match where the girl's tampon popped out.
Weren't they booking Naomi to fight Sunny Kiss for the belt?
Yeah, they are now.
But, yeah.
That's pretty bad. I
said something about that on Facebook, and my buddy Rick, who's been wrestling for like 25 years, kind of chimed in.
Mm-hmm. They've got their own Trin and Giselle Shaw, so at least Giselle Shaw had the surgery.
That was the one that Rick Steiner got in trouble for yelling at the convention.
Yeah. Oh, she actually decided to chop that shit off.
As far as I know, that's what I've read, that she actually went all the way. So
yeah, Jordan Grace does a bunch of fucking like videos with that thing. I'm like, damn it, Jordan.
Yeah, I like see a bunch of her videos, and she's got a bunch of other hot chicks there, and I'm like, wait a second, that's a dude.
That's a trap.
Ow.
I want to show this before we hang on. I want to show this video CJ posted here. Should we get the audio up?
I don't know if this has music or not, but
I was waiting for the robot to do a kip up. Keeps working that drop kick. Uh-oh. Look at that.
Takedown, bro. Bridge.
Two-legged takedown. Yep, bridge pin, kick out.
That's awesome.
This is more entertaining than Collision, so, you know.
You going for a cutter?
Drop and drop. The wrestlers in Japan are like, chocolate.
He goes to the drop kick. Oh, here he goes again.
Damn. Thing looks like it's like gonna jack somebody off or some shit. And then it's suplex them.
Hey, look at that, Michael Cole. It's Hook taking him to Suplex City.
You know, Dave Meltzer would give that 5 stars.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
That's a 5-star Meltzer match.
I'm not right here over your shoulder.
But it made me laugh though.
You know, you're dad.
The wrestlers are now going to go. It took their jobs.
Yeah. Another thing, this person that's behind the devil mask right now in AEW, like,
I just hope that he can handle this all at once.
they need to do this right, or it's just gonna be pointless. Like, if it's Jack Perry at this point, nobody's gonna give a fuck.
No. But that's the thing is like, for as much shit as we give Jack Perry, he works so much better as a heel, but he needs to be a lightweight heel.
Yes. Apparently there was like little hints of like they made statements or whatever that were in reference to Punk during that episode where they got pushed through the glass. So now people are like reading into it again, and they're like, "Oh, well, Punk's probably gonna come back, be the guy in the devil mask." But I don't think Tony Khan is smart enough to fucking do that.
Well, after
and if he is, it's gonna be a hell of a swerve.
Dude, you see it in the comment sections right now. All the Punk fanboys are just.
Yep.
And I WWE flat out told him, nah, we don't want you. You know,
they were making references too, though, for him to come back at Survivor Series, and they updated their roster page with him, and they did a bunch of shit on their own. So Full Gear is the 18th. Survivor Series is what, the 25th?
I think so.
Tony. So. And it's in Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have no idea. I know Survivor Series is sometime this month, but...
Wouldn't that be something? And I'm not saying this is going to happen, but hypothetical. He were to come back for WWE at Survivor Series in Chicago. He would make 2 comebacks in his hometown in the same year.
Yeah.
Because it was like what, June when he came back to or July.
For Collision.
Yeah, for Collision. It was June, wasn't it?
I think so. Something like that. It was the summer.
Yeah, it was early summer, so yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be big for WWE, but would Triple H
if he doesn't show up for Survivor Series, people think he'll be there for the Rumble. If he doesn't show up somewhere else.
Who has the final say? Does Endeavor have the final say on that?
I would think Endeavor would have the final say now because Triple H is just creative.
Yeah.
So
I think so. I think he's just creative.
And Vince just sold off a bunch of his shares. So
does this mean they can finally get rid of Kevin Dunn?
Please, for the love of God. Hey, can we get what was that guy's name? Can we get Sean Mooney back?
Right. The guy behind the devil mask is Owen Hart. He will be the comeback wrestler of the century. Did he come back from the future? He traveled through the Forbidden Door from the past to come to the future before he fell.
Love it.
And he's going to join the Owen Hart tournament and win.
Hey, Tony, did you see this? Brutal called it mouth-watering robot action. Brutal, do you work for what culture?
Oh, jeez.
Good times.
Mouth-watering robot action. Ew, girls. It's pretty much everybody at what culture.
Does that robot have cleavage? Disgusting.
Cover that up. Put your knickers back on, dear. That was a CK. Settle down.
Yes. Forbidden Doors, what teenage boys tell Kevin Spacey.
All right, God damn it. That's 2 hours in right there, and I think that manliness put a nice fucking stamp on it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. So tomorrow night, we gotta look at the poll here. Tomorrow night, 42% of the audience voted for Le Montreal Screwjob.
Oh shit!
Survivor Series 1997. We'll have some fun with that one here.
So we're gonna see
8:05
Brett
Eastern.
screw Brett.
Brett screwed Brett.
Everybody will be on hand for that one, folks. We'll be back for Holy Shit News. I'll be recording videos.
Ring the goddamn bell. Hebner. Is that Dave or it doesn't matter? Ring the bell.
I'll be reviewing Halloween 1 and 2 this week, and probably some other fun stuff for you guys too coming up the rest of the week here. So we're ending the poll. Survivor Series 97 it is. Don't forget CJ's show, Forgotten One cast on Thursday. Tommy and Vinny shows on Tuesday and Thursday, and then Vinny's on Friday and Sunday. Draven, are we watching Wrestling Wednesday?
No, we'll watch Friday. We'll have to do Dynamite and ROH on Friday, like early, like probably around noon. And then after that, after Vinny's show, we'll do the normal Rampage, but it'll be Collision as well because they're doing on Friday because Saturday is the pay-per-view.
Well, all right. So there you have it, folks. And then,
Vinny might like my show this week. I'm bringing on Dre DeBrute. I can't remember the name of his comic company, but he's got a comic that's on Indiegogo called Treble. And it's about a superhero gets his powers through music, but his powers change depending on what song is playing. So he has his own soundtrack that he's created for it. So we're going to talk about the music aspect of it, but
cool.
An independent comic artist on a music show.
Hell yeah.
And Dre's good people. I've streamed with a couple times. He's funny as fuck.
Excuse me. Well, there you have it, folks. There's the week right there. Subscribe. Everybody's links are in the description to the video. Pop will be hanging out with me Wednesday. So nice. He might be here live for Holy Shit News Wednesday night. We'll see. So, and Vinny said he should be launching his book this week as well. Sweet. I'm going to back that shit.
Same. I'll back whatever the highest tier is.
Back that art book. So thank you everybody for being here. We appreciate y'all in the chat, all the channel members. If you're not a member, sign up, man. Take the $2.99 tier. You get early access to the videos, and we're doing Tales from the Crypt commentaries. Oh yeah, we'll have one of those episode 6 and 7 on. Oh wait, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 and 7 on Thursday, and we'll see who'll be joining us for that. We'll announce that on Wednesday. So yeah, that will be the rest of this week, folks. So thank you all.
Trina is Wednesday too.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna watch Willard, and then the following week, I believe we're watching Monster Squad.
If you're watching Monster Squad the following week,
and I cannot wait because I love that.
I'm taking the night off for that because I'm getting ready to do a review of that anyway. So I'll take the night off on Wednesday and come over there. But there you have it, folks. We're done. Thank you on Rumble, everybody over there. I'm Etep Kuian from the Place to Be Reviews. We've been here with all you. If we don't see you, have a great day, pleasant tomorrow. We will catch you on the next one.